This afternoon we have a lot of interesting topics we'd like to discuss. I would like to welcome our next speaker, Fabrizio Renzi, President and CEO at rnbgate, RNB for Culture, and he is also an angel investor. Please, Fabrizio. Nice to see you back. We met on the occasion of the preview conference. He's also an IBM partner. Do you mind if I call you by first name? Not at all. So tell us about rnbgate.
RNB means research and business. And the idea is to put together these two worlds that seem to be quite far apart, but actually they're like very, very close, because there's little time now to develop products. So research and business are really directly connected, and I like the idea, but I also like to call it rhythm and blues, because this is something that we share, the rhythm of business and the blues of research.
On May 18th, we had our webinar, and we've already discussed some of these topics. We talked about Industry 4.0 time and again, but how is the industry changing, or how will it change?
Can we have the slide on screen, please? Technically, the COVID-19 time was complex, and I'm sure this is not the first time that you hear this, but it really gives us a chance to write a new page in history. There are many new things that we can do. I've tried to carry out an analysis of what has happened. Next slide, please. An analysis of what has happened recently in a graph that I'd like to share with you. Can we please move to the next slide? Here we are. So this is my graph. I was using very simply the list of requests that I've received. A few of them are very basic. For example, cybersecurity, monitoring for COVID. So this is true survival. And then there's something new and beautiful if you want to look for what's good. So a disruption for good, which enables us to create something new. And something positive, and that revolves around happiness and the quality of life, the quality of learning, prevention, and a new way of doing business. Why does artificial intelligence play a role here? I do not like the term artificial intelligence. I prefer the term augmented intelligence, because the human brain can carry out 20 petaflops of operations every second. There is no computer that is able to carry out the same amount of operations. Our brain only uses a fraction of the energy that is needed to run any of our computers or laptops, some 20 watts each. So we are extremely efficient also as calculators. Machines can help the human being, but our computing performance are far better. We are far away from creating anything similar. We also have a project in our laboratory which is trying to create a neurosynaptic chip, but we're really far, far away. Let's see what we can do with augmented intelligence. First of all, we have developed better algorithm for machine learning, meaning that face recognition works better through machines rather than if compared to what our brain can do. Also, machines are able to detect emotions. We send emoticons. Machines are better able than we do to read emotions, and we can add data if we also consider, for example, temperature, and we scan temperatures on the face of people. Another development that we've seen is that as machines use data and learn through data, we have more and more data available. We can feed these data and machines can learn better. Computer vision, the best computer vision machines come from China because they have so many faces, because the population is so large that they are fed huge amounts of data. Then there's been a drop in the cost of computing. I don't really know what's the cost of bread here in Italy. An iPhone costs something like 2,500 euro every 100 grams. If we want to weigh innovation, it has a cost. Fast computers are very heavy. In 1997, the machine that was able to win a chess game was some tons heavy. Today, the same computing power is much, much lighter, meaning that the cost of computing has really plummeted. Work with IBM, we can almost say that computing has become a commodity. And we've invested heavily in artificial intelligence with the so-called perfect storm. And this is a model that we can see in all industries, with creative disruption in all industries: healthcare, education, science, business, government, finance, agriculture, energy. Yes, they've all been impacted. And we were thinking that we have 1,200 people connected.
Well, some side effects are negative, but these ones are positive.
That's true. So let's see what we can do within this industry. The first thing that we can do is avoiding that digitalization disrupts industry, and we have to fight back. We have to change your set of cards. We have to write a new page. How do we fight back? These are just a couple of examples. For example, give a new purpose to paper and printing. I can use artificial intelligence to embed in paper systems detecting the quality and content of water, for example. And paper and printing acquire a new role, a new sense, a new purpose, and a new market. There are many ways to do that. We can really, literally print a world, a new world. We shouldn't just be thinking about printing on paper. The other thing that we can do is innovating in processes. We know that this industry produces and uses very complex machineries. Once upon a time, you needed to send a technician on the spot, for example, to carry out maintenance. Today, we can use smart VR technology for remote maintenance. So the expert can tell a worker how to carry out basic maintenance. In 2022, I very much hope that we can meet in person.
Well, there has been a growth in terms of data exchange, so they have increased by a factor of 1,000. So going virtual could be the next step.
Exactly. I can really guide someone on the spot while sitting in my headquarters, and you see that there's a clear advantage in these remote operations. Another way to counterattack is, if we're discussing culture, and what has happened recently is that people have discovered once again the importance of values, of history. We've lost so many of our elderly, and it is interesting to go back to the history of our grandfathers. So in September, we will be launching a new project on the collection of memories. Something similar could be done in companies. In all companies, there are things that should be cherished. For example, through artificial intelligence, I can go back on my Facebook and see who that person was. By connecting badges, access badges, to pictures, it is easy to trace back who's done what. And this is a beautiful way to counterattack. We have this new set of cards. Let us play this new game. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much to Fabrizio Renzi, President and CEO at rnbgate and rnb4culture, angel investor and IBM partner. So he liaises with startups, and this is like one of the deadly sins. Once in IBM, forever at IBM. So engineer and very aware IBMer. So thanks for joining us.